camera. Whatever you do.
This is the working Freedom Tower site. Obviously not too much visible at this point, coming up near the street level, except for the initial steel columns that were there since December of 2006. So there's progress being made on the foundation, and obviously there's plenty of workers down there keeping busy. But most of the work is concentrated in the far corner of the site, over by Church Street Liberty, where they are racing to get that foundation completed. Somebody posted on the Jersey City site and said, because they know I work over here, they asked me, they go, did you see anything happen? Because
at the Goldman Sachs site.
Yeah. Now let's go down. I'm not going to walk down. Well, I can do a voiceover on this one.
Go ahead.
Earlier today, this is the Goldman Sachs building. The steel has been rising for the last 8 months, and it will be about as tall as 7 World Trade Center, which is that away. Earlier today on this site, apparently there was an accident of some sorts where some steel was dropped or otherwise improperly placed by a crane, and apparently a worker was hospitalized. But this building is probably about 6 or 8 months away from being completed, and Goldman Sachs is going to make this building their world headquarters. I think presently their world headquarters is over on Broad Street, although it could be, I'm not 100% sure, it could be up in Midtown. This is the Goldman building. The tower structure has a smaller footprint than the ground footprint, because this section of the building here, for the first several floors, are going to hold Goldman Sachs trading floors, and all of the big investment houses want large open floors for their trading operations, and that's why this building is a very big footprint at ground level, and as it rises, a smaller footprint. I gather that this is the news gathering operation for the accident that happened a little bit earlier. Maybe our friend Marsha Kramer is nearby. This side of the Goldman building is actually very dramatic with that curving structure. The exterior panels of the building don't exactly inspire, it's rather ordinary facade of the building, steel and glass. If you pan to the right, you look at the magnificent classical lines of the former New York Telephone Building, and behind it, rising behind it, of course, is the ultra-modern 7 World Trade Center. So, in just a space of a block and a half, you have an ultra-modern skyscraper, a classical stone brick skyscraper, and now an ultra-modern, state-of-the-art building for the most powerful investment bank in the world, Goldman Sachs. The World Financial Center's Winter Garden. I guess we'd call it a Winter Garden Wonderland. And this, of course, is about 20 years old already, maybe a little bit older, that the World Financial Center was completed in about 1985 or 1986. So though this is a very beautiful public space, it's comparatively old in the sense of being here for 20 years already. And it's a very enjoyable gathering spot in Lower Manhattan. Beyond the Winter Garden is the Hudson River and the Yacht Basin. Ferries to Jersey City, my beloved Jersey City. And this is one of New York's, Lower Manhattan's most beautiful open public spaces, and it rivals Grand Central Terminal on 42nd Street. I want to get a panorama of the whole thing. at the east end of the World Financial Center garden, Winter Garden. And behind me, this is a very nice vista of the entire World Trade Center rebuild site. Going from the left, where the Freedom Tower will be built, the Freedom Tower footprint, and going across to the far corner where Tower 2, which will be about as tall as the Empire State Building, is going to be built. Further to the right, going towards the patch canopy, will be the patch station, the South Courthouse Travel patch station, and then of course panning past Century 21 into the area where they're currently digging the foundation for Tower 3 and 4. And then further across the site, you'll encounter the demolition of the Deutsche Bank building, and right now where there's not too much activity, where we can't see that well, is the quadrant for the memorial, which is on the southwest corner of the site. So this particular vista, at this point in the World Financial Center, there used to be a pedestrian bridge, a beautiful pedestrian bridge that came across West Street and entered right here into the Winter Garden. And that bridge, of course, was destroyed on 9/11/01. And so this particular vista gives you an opportunity to encompass the entire Ground Zero site from one side to the other, and to see all of the activities in the various quadrants of the Ground Zero site. Oh, that's what they're doing there is they're placing those circular units, those tubes.
Yeah.
Those tubes are actual foundation elements. They're drilling the holes to put the foundation elements down. Those tubes will actually act as the foundation for any understructure that they're presently putting on there. In fact, on the Tower 3 and 4 site, even though the bathtub wall encases the external surrounding of the site, inside of the Tower 3 and 4 sites, the foundation consists of those tubes. So there's a foundation within the foundation, the internal site foundation for what's going to be Tower 3 and 4. Great deal. This bridge was also in place on 9/11, but it survived, pretty much intact. But looking north, there's obviously now a temporary pedestrian bridge, which will not be in place after they complete the underground pedestrian passageway. Although eventually they may very well, depending on the World Trade Center, on the rebuild, they may eventually replace the North Bridge with another above-ground pedestrian bridge. This building got flooded with sewage. It's the Cass Gilbert building, 90 West Street. Cass Gilbert is the same guy who designed the Woolworth Tower, and apparently some sewage got into the basement of that building, and the people aren't in there right now. They've been relocated. The World Trade Center site, and that structure there is the present Patch train station. This is looking north. The wall to the right will actually be Greenwich Street. On the completed site, Greenwich Street will run across the top of that wall. On the other side of the wall, where that equipment is working, is where they're racing to finish that foundation. And of course, no tour of the World Trade Center site would be complete without finishing up near the Deutsche Bank building, currently idle since August. By now, had that demolition continued, that building would be nearly gone. So 3 months worth of work stoppage means that building's still there. Further on is the Cass Gilbert building, where earlier this week or a couple of weeks ago there was a sewage leak that forced all of the tenants in that beautiful building to evacuate. This has been Rick Shepard reporting for PaperbackNovel.com.